everyone. Welcome back to Speed Stackin, your weekly roundup of what's happening in the Steady Stack Discord. Before we dive into the content, a little reminder that this podcast is not technically related or affiliated to Steady Stack and is actually built for the community by the community. Everything we say in this podcast is purely our opinion and not meant to be financial advice, and is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, what is Speed Stackin'? This podcast is meant to be a 10 to 15-minute recap of everything that's happened in the last week of the Steady Stack Discord. It's put together by Ria, Tony, One Monomics X, Tony Sosa, Millie Ram, Surfer Girl, T. Zeki, and myself, going by the Discord name Aragon Fire. We want this to be a resource for the community because we know that you can't always be in the Discord, and neither can we. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time around, as we've realized that the content coming out of the Steady Stack Discord it's gotten to be a bit much to try and cram into just a 15-minute time period. So we're actually switching up the AMAs and splitting it into two separate portions. We're now going to have a AMA recap and a normal recap. The AMA recap will focus solely on what's happening every week with the Ask Me Anythings on Twitter, in Discord, etc. And we're going to be diving deep into actual content that's taking place in those recaps rather than just doing a general glaze over. This episode that you're listening to right now is going to cover community updates and overall updates in the world of NFTs. So, obviously, we have myself and Tony here today. Tony, how are we feeling? How are we doing? I'm doing fantastic. Like I said, we're trying out things a little bit differently this time. We, you know this. I just spent like 2 hours trying to figure out OBS recording studios so that we could have a little bit higher production here, make sure that everything runs all right. But it's been a pretty crazy, nice week actually. It's it's all good. All right. So, for everyone listening, we are going to have a couple of segments this time. We're going to start, like usual, with our weekly roundup, and then we're going to dive into our community shoutouts submitted by members of the community and people that helped us out on this episode of the podcast. After that, we're going to go with Tony to the NFT of the week. That's tea like the stuff you drink, because there was some pretty crazy stuff that went down with the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Then we will go to Project of the Week, like usual. And then we will finish out with our outro done by me, like usual. So, if you guys are ready for it, and Tony, I see you're back at your desk, then we are going to dive right into the content. So, this week in the community, we had some honestly, I felt a little endeared by the community this week because we saw a member of the community, Baynap, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, announced that he had a giant wallet hack. He lost almost $50,000 worth of NFTs and ETH, and the community rallied around him, led by Mr. Gunner, Zed, and Claire, led the charge to try and get him back everything that he lost. So we do want to say thank you to those members of the community that tried to help Baynat out. And actually, we managed to get him, if I remember correctly, Tony, we got him back everything that he lost, right? Like $50,000 worth of stuff. Like, we didn't get him the stuff back, but we did get him the $50,000, right? Which is really amazing. And it's a testament to what the Steady Stack community can do. Because more than anything, like, it shows that this community is powerful and we can actually affect change throughout the space. Whitelist spots are being rolled out, and as I'm sure people have noticed in chat, we now have a whole lot more gold names. The first application period has concluded, but if you haven't gotten one yet, there are still plenty more opportunities to get into the whitelist and more people being announced every single day. There's now whitelist challenges related to best memes and Steady Stack themed videos and fan arts. There's also a YouTube channel now, which is one of the cash flow channels, up and running. In the YouTube suggestions channel, you can offer suggestions as for what topics that the Steady Stack team should make future YouTube videos on. Let's see, what else have we got? Bo is currently doing a whitelist challenge on Twitter, which obviously is huge. Get into every single whitelist opportunity that you can. Zanshake opened his own market analysis channel as well as the new Llama Calls channel, giving NFT alpha calls. Another week of Bo having huge money making callouts with multiple calls over 30% gain that gave over 30% gains throughout the week. We also have a new chat channel that's been added to this to separate general conversation from NFT and valuable conversation. Ready Player H actually made an announcement about this today, saying that the main general chat is going to be for high value conversations, not just general, everyday, how's it going, what you doing, what are you eating. He said that he basically doesn't want that kind of normal stuff in chat because we want to see the high value stuff be at the center of community. There is a separate channel where you can go talk about that general everyday stuff. Am I missing anything, Tony, or is that the majority of what we're looking for in the community roundup? All right, then we will move on to the community member spotlight. So, shout out to the whole community, obviously, for coming together and helping out Baynat. Special thanks to Claire, Lucimoto, and Gunnar for organizing it, but mostly thanks to everyone who helped out, because without those members of the community contributing and making sure that that ETH was actually retrieved, Baynat would have gotten anywhere. Claire, Lucimoto, and Gunnar can't do it themselves. It was a community effort to give him back what he lost. So thank you to everyone. We, as a recap team, wanted to say thank you to at NemenZoFrans5, Robbie's, and Nick Quest for fan art submissions that will be shown in the AMA recaps. We want to do a huge shout out to you guys. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Surfer Girl, who is now an official member of the AMA recap team. We're super glad to have you on, Surfer Girl, and we're hoping to get this thing going better and better moving into the future. That's all for this week's community member spotlight, and I'm going to pass it over to you, Tony, for the NFT of the week.
All right, so this is a potentially new segment we're going to be introducing this week. And like Aragon mentioned, we're going to be calling it NFT, as in the TU sip. So with all the blunders happening in the space as of late, we thought it would be best to add this in as a means to educate and give updates on pain points from certain projects. Recently, there have been many projects with minting issues, whether it's a compromised contract, unoptimized contract, people having the ability to mint more than their allotment, or even unwhitelisted individuals having the ability to mint, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. This week in particular, we're going to be focusing on the other side. I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, are very familiar with this project by Yuga Labs. The other side is essentially a gamified metaverse which aims to blend massive multiplayer online role-playing games with Web3 enabled virtual worlds, sort of like a meta RPG where the players own the world and your NFTs can actually become playable characters and allow thousands of different people to play together in real time. I will briefly go over some of the events that occurred over this weekend with Yuga Labs, The Other Side, and ApeCoin. But essentially, during the Other Deed mint, Etherscan crashed, and a whopping $180 million worth of Ethereum was burned this past Saturday. So Yuga Labs pretty much blamed Ethereum and is encouraging their own DAO to start thinking about doing their drops by migrating onto their own blockchain, which is ApeCoin. People are blaming Yuga Labs for using an unoptimized contract and stating that they took shortcuts, which resulted in a huge amount of gas being burned. But Vitalik pretty much jumped in and stated that optimizing the contracts wouldn't have made it any better. Yuga Labs has stated on Twitter that they will be refunding users who lost their gas money, but $180 million of ETH is quite a lot. And I'd like to see if Yuga actually plans on following up with this. ApeCoin, of course, had a sell-off during the mint as expected, and it had a huge significant plunge when the mint price of 305 ApeCoins was announced. In fact, I myself, right at that minute, cashed out, and I'm really glad I did. I was
Good job, Tony. Good job, Tony.
On Sunday, the other deeds revealed, and the floor price is currently 4.7 ETH, which is also another significant drop from mint day, where it was selling around 8 to 9 ETH. We will have to keep an eye on this project and see how it goes, as it is quite a big collection, and it'll take a lot of price action for the floor price to significantly increase. It is Board Ape Yacht Club, so that's not entirely impossible. Apart from the floor price, it can be noted that there are different tiers to the different lands available, and that a select few will actually have a quota on them, which I'm sure will place some sort of significance down the road. And for those of you who don't know what a quota is, it looks to be some sort of an alien, and any land that does have a quota is considered to be rare. For now, the landowners are promised utilities such as demos, prototypes, test builds, in-person events, and contests that will help bring the other side to life. And now I'm going to be switching over to the project of the week. So for the project of the week, we are going to be covering one that Ready Player H has mentioned we will be collaborating with in the near future. And that project is Project Gojira. Project Gojira consists of two different generations. There is the original Genesis collection, which consists of 333 Genesis Gojira, which offer an exclusive Tier 1 membership. With that, you actually get to own all the commercial rights to your Project Gojira assets, and you get to vote on the strategic direction of the overall project. With Generation 2, you get the Tier 2 membership, which enables you to exclusively generate Jira tokens and gives you access to exclusive alpha on the Discord. I also just want to throw in the fact that Steady Stack hasn't even minted yet, and our community has access to such great alpha across various different sectors, right? So all the way to stocks, to crypto, to NFTs, to real estate, the list, like, it really goes on. And I just want to put a huge emphasis on the fact that we haven't even minted yet, right? So we're already getting so much value from just being a part of the community, which is why I'm personally so heavily bullish on Steady Stack. Our opportunities are limitless within this project. But yeah, heading back over to Project Gojira, there is a various mixture of already released and upcoming utilities for the overall Gojira ecosystem, and some specifically for either the Genesis collection or the second generation collection. Some utilities for both collections are things such as Metaverse land drops, which will double up to be used in a Monopoly-styled play-to-earn game, a 3x3 sandbox land in VX, NFT Worlds integration, funding for future in real life and or NFT projects via Jira Tank. So think like a similar concept to Shark Tank. In real life items marketplace with the use of Jira tokens for both the fees and the purchases. So for that, think along the lines of a decentralized eBay, which is kind of a cool concept. And access to in real life professionals such as dietitians, psychologists, etc., which will also be purchased with the Jira tokens. And other in real life benefits such as hotel and resort discounts and other methods of sustainable passive incomes. Some utilities specifically for the Genesis collection consist of things such as being a token multiplier for Generation 2, having access to sniping bots and tools, lifetime free drops such as VX and land alongside extra benefits and advantages for play-to-earn gaming, and access to Dante Walker's Diamond Pass and the Champs Only Alpha Group, and finally, free access to rug burner tools. Generation 2 benefits and utilities include being Jira token generators for the ecosystem. And there's actually a deflationary game mechanics, which will lead to a supply drop of a maximum of 333 Titans, Mechas, and Hybrids. So think about it this way: burning 2 good Gojiras will get you a Titan, burning 2 evil Gojiras will get you a Mecha, and burning 1 of each will get you a Hybrid. The main benefit of obtaining either of those 3 is the fact that the Jira tokens earned will actually be double 2 second generation Gojiras. So for example, if one second gen gave you 5 tokens, having a Titan, a Mecha, or a Hybrid will actually get you 20 Jira tokens. Titans, Mechas, and Hybrids will also have different pros and cons in the play to earn game. And finally, Gen 2 gets access to a mini casino for whitelist spots in other NFT projects. Overall, Project Gajira is quite well known in the space with almost 300,000 followers on Twitter, which is huge. And this is definitely an exciting collaboration headed our way. So with that, I will pass it off to Aragon to wrap up this episode of the Steady Stack Community and NFT Recap.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. Honestly, great job with both of those. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of the Steady Stackin Recap. I think we went a little bit, obviously I don't know because we're still recording, but I think we went a little bit long. So thank you for giving us our time and continuing to tune into this podcast. We're doing everything we can to make this good for you guys as members of the communities, because as we said at the beginning, this is by the community for the community. If you guys want to be featured in the community shout out section of the podcast next week, reach out to us, talk to us. If there's someone in the community who is being good to you, being kind, who's helping you out, tell us and we will shout them out here on the podcast for everyone to hear. With that said, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and keep steady stacking.